Let's talk about something that's been on my mind, and maybe yours too, if you're a fellow fan of a certain reality TV empire. Remember when 90 Day Fiancé first burst onto our screens back in 2014? It was fresh, it was wild, and it was absolutely addictive. Watching those couples race against the K1 visa clock, facing cultural clashes and intense pressure, was genuinely captivating. And like many of you, I devoured every spin-off that followed. Before the 90 Days, Happily Ever After, The Other Way, and all the others that turned a quirky little show into a sprawling global phenomenon. Is our favorite franchise losing its spark? There's a saying, right? Too much of a good thing can wear you out. And honestly, that's where I'm at with the 90 Day Fiancé universe. I used to be absolutely hooked, binging episodes, talking about the latest drama with friends, and eagerly awaiting new seasons. But lately, that intense excitement has just faded. It feels like I'm watching the same story unfold, just with different faces or sometimes with the exact same faces going through the same old motions. Lately, I've found myself just zoning out. The spark that once made these shows so incredibly addictive seems to be dimming. The drama feels recycled, and the storylines drag on way longer than they should. And there's one particular spin-off that, for me, might just be the breaking point. I'm genuinely considering stepping away from the entire 90 Day Fiancé franchise altogether if things don't change. The familiar faces aren't so fresh anymore. Here's the thing. I love seeing familiar faces in shows I enjoy, but there comes a point where familiar starts to feel a lot like stale. We've seen these couples, bless their hearts, go through the same tired cycles of breakups, makeups, and dramatic confrontations for what feels like an eternity. That element of surprise, that feeling of not knowing what's coming next, has all but vanished. I miss the early days when the show felt so raw and unpredictable. Back then, it truly felt like we were watching real people navigating extraordinary circumstances. Now, without new perspectives and genuinely fresh narratives, it's incredibly hard to stay invested. The initial excitement that hooked so many of us simply isn't there when you feel like you're watching a rerun of emotional turmoil you've already witnessed a dozen times over. The Other Way still holds the magic. Interestingly, amidst this growing fatigue, there's one spin-off that still manages to capture my attention and actually makes me look forward to watching. The Other Way. It's like a breath of fresh air because it completely flips the script. Instead of the foreign partner coming to America, it's the American moving abroad, trying to adapt to a completely different culture and way of life. This premise introduces a whole new layer of genuine challenge and discovery. Watching these Americans grapple with language barriers, cultural norms, and the complexities of living far from home feels genuinely fresh and unpredictable. The new couples on The Other Way don't know what hits them, and that's precisely what keeps me hooked. Their journeys feel authentic, deeply emotional, and significantly more engaging than the repetitive cycles we see elsewhere. For me, the best part of reality TV is being genuinely surprised, and that's something I just don't get from the endless parade of the same old cast on, say, Happily Ever After. The Other Way brings real change, real adaptation, and stories I haven't seen played out 100 times before. I'm all for drama, but I also crave honesty and something that feels genuinely new. That's what keeps me tuning in. Social media spoils the fun. Another huge issue, and one that's particularly frustrating, is how often the cast members end up spoiling their own storylines on social media. Even if they don't mean to, the cat often gets out of the bag long before the episodes air. Take Jasmine, for example. I saw her posting about having her baby, Matilda, with Matt Brannis way back in April 2025. But then when watching Happily Ever After, Season 9, she's not even pregnant yet on screen. It creates a bizarre disconnect. It feels so strange to watch her still act like she's fighting for Gino, when in real life, she's clearly moved on and is seemingly enjoying life in Florida with Matt and their child. Jasmine herself was the one who initially spilled the tea about Gino dating someone named Natalie, sharing it in an Instagram story and stating they had already broken up. She even claimed he went on to date 2 Brazilian women. I remember hearing about Gino's relationship with Kelly Wagner, which supposedly ended after he was exposed for messaging other women and allegedly body-shaming her. All of this makes you wonder, why are the show producers still dragging out these clearly dead storylines on air?